An important part of economic methodology as you're starting your study of economics is to understand the concept of value judgments. So let's spend a few minutes on this. Now, value judgments are essentially subjective moral beliefs about what's good, bad, right or wrong. And in economics, you'll find that value judgments can play a key role in determining what's considered an optimal outcome. We'll have a look at a couple of examples in a second. So, for example, some economists think that maximising growth is more important than reducing income inequality. And other economists might say, well, maximising growth can lead to sustained environmental damage. You've got to balance those two trade-offs. So value judgments can influence policy decisions. Should the government be raising or lowering taxes? Should the government be imposing new regulations on businesses or cutting red tape? Here are two examples. One is income and wealth inequality. Now, some people believe the value judgment that reducing income inequality is a moral imperative, should be a significant priority for UK economic policy. Government should be elected on the claims of being able to make the gap between rich and poor smaller. So they argue that it's fairer and more just, it's more equitable for income and wealth to be distributed more equitably. That's the value judgment. Now, from a value judgment, there's a policy implication. So they might advocate for higher taxes, a higher top rate of tax, perhaps lifting it from 45% to 50% or higher. They would argue for a more generous welfare system, a new wealth tax, for example, and a higher minimum wage. So that value judgment infuses the policy implications. Whereas critics argue, of course, that higher taxes might damage incentives and that an increase in the national minimum wage could lead to job losses. Another good example, the environment. So the value judgment influence here. Environmentalists, millions of people, including myself, concerned about future generations, may value the preservation of natural resources, protecting biodiversity. They see it as a moral, ethical imperative, an obligation to protect our scarce environment for the well-being of both current and future generations. Now, if you believe that infuses your policy implications, doesn't it? So value judgments, you might be in favour of carbon taxes or tougher regulations on emissions or incentivising renewable energy. These measures aim to mitigate climate change and protect the environment, even if there might be some economic consequences, some costs in the short term. So value judgments are part of economic methodology. We can't escape them often. And if you have a value judgment, then that has policy implications. So thanks for joining in this short video.